The Cruiserweight title's on the line. We got a ladder match, and everyone's busted open. Please don't die, because the NXT After Show and AfterBuzz TV starts right now.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're playing that horrible music.
It's horrible? Shout out to Iron Man. Oh, God, you got to shout out to Iron Man, Evan T. Mac in the building, the Bumpers in the building. It's NXT After Show. My name is Flobo Boyce. Thank you so much for keeping me in your life and on your second screen. We're about a week and a half away from Wargames and Survivor Series. We're talking about all the matches, all the previews, all the promos, and all that stuff. But before we do, we got ourselves a giant, full-size panel, live from the Bigs, all the way to my left. The man, the myth, the legend, returning the Second City Saint, the controversial firebrand. Hashtag Heel Jim Alexander.
There you go. Do not adjust your sets, all you nerds out there. I am back. The legend of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling, the soon-to-be Hall of Famer of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling is back. So enjoy this ride.
Is there a physical Hall of Fame?
I'm kind of like the Undertaker and Cena now. You know, when I come, it's like a big
wow.
It's a big deal.
I don't want to buy your merch. To his right, she is the Canadian assassin, the co-founder of Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly, and the overall nicest person on the planet. It's true. Give it up for General Company's own TK Trinidad.
Bonjour.
Nicest person on the planet. Did I hear this right?
Yeah. I was in the zone.
Maybe a different TK or something.
Wow!
Bonus boy.
Welcome back, Jim. Welcome back.
And to her right, this guy is 100% pumped rock. He is one half of the AfterBuzz TV Recap Tag Team Champions of the World. David Christopher, how's life doing?
We are doing good. What's going on, guys? Good to be here. Welcome back.
Wait a minute.
We're in the tag team now?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
You turned on
Jim
Jim
Beto
Beto?
Wednesday. I love the fact he comes to work.
So are you no longer Jim Beto, though?
I mean, he's
Maybe
on
for
the table
Raw.
now.
Maybe he's on
Yeah,
a different
maybe
brand.
for Raw.
Oh, I see. That's fine. You guys can do that NXT tag team. We'll take it over.
I'm so confused right
You
now.
guys can interact with the show in the chat room. Shout out to Dylan Matthews, Dang MQ, Joseph Boza, a real YT, Dino Hour. You guys are like part of the family. And thanks for tuning in today. So overall thoughts about this. War Games and Survivor Series are just about a week away. There is something to be said of having two giant pay-per-views where NXT is involved. Can they handle it? Just thoughts about the overall thoughts of the show. Start with you, Jim.
Yeah, they can. This is a whole new NXT. I mean, can you think about it? A few months ago, before the whole brand shift happened, we were just looking at NXT, not even as a brand, really. We're just looking like, who's going to stay on? We're losing all the major names. Now they're a legitimized brand to the point where they have 2 pay-per-view appearances now. You know, we're talking about like major feuds. We remember the Undisputed Era were like the only heels on that show. Now we have Finn Balor. Now we have everything. This is going to be big.
I agree with TK. You seem very prim and proper. Ready to disagree?
I just want to say I'm right. I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, and I've been saying that definitely for us who've been watching NXT on the app, it's different now. It's on TV, and it's not for us. It's for wrestling fans, period. And they want to draw a whole bunch of different eyes, so it's no longer like the brand where up and comers come. It's it's gonna become a third legitimate brand, and I've been saying that for quite some time.
Okay, I love how you start the show saying I'm right. I'm gonna hold you to this though. But the idea of them having such a prominent role in the Survivor Series and having War Games and doing ladder match qualifiers, a little bit too much, no?
The proof is in the pudding. When we were watching the show today, were we not screaming O's and ahs and actually engaged in...
Because me and face broke in half.
Well,
Yeah, true.
that too, but there were other matches where we were engaged in just like any other, SmackDown or Raw, etc. So it's not a brand to take lightly.
Okay, TK. I will give it to you. Yes, from the moment I joined this panel, you did say that. You did call that.
Ryan.
No, there's no claps.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
And I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure, but you're right. I am seeing it now. We are a legitimate brand now. I mean, it's actually very entertaining to watch. You're seeing just that blurred line. You got the top roster coming down and vice versa, and it's awesome now.
You'll learn that I'm right often.
Has that gone that long? I don't remember any of
This
this.
has gone a long time.
I have
I don't know
amnesia or
why.
something like Jason Bourne in the first movie.
We're all held hostage. You are right, TK. You're so nice.
I'll give that to you.
First match of the night, the NXT Cruiserweight Championships on the line. Lio Rush, Angel Garza. Angel Garza is quickly becoming one of the more visible members of that division, but Lio Rush gets the win and retains. Talk about the match. I'm going to start with you, TK, because I know you and Lio Rush go way back because you've been following his social
I have
media
been a
escapade.
fan of Lio Rush before he even signed to WWE. Like, I started following when he did this crazy move off a ladder and flipped off the ladder into the ring. Like, I can't even remember. That's like I don't even
Big
remember.
fan then.
No, I don't. Well, I'm a
Just a
fan.
roll.
Whatever. I'm just a fan of when you could do amazing things, and I started following him because of that. That was like the move that I really like. It's insane.
And he's young too.
And he's young. I'm not necessarily a fan of his attitude, but he's got redemption, and I think he's learned his lesson because I don't think they would have put the belt on him. Yeah. And I'm a fan of this. I can't wait to see the rise of Lio Rush.
Dave Christopher, was Angel Garza winning tonight ever in question?
I mean, as far as him taking the win?
Yeah, taking the win, taking the championship.
For me, it was no question. I knew Leo was going to take it. I don't think Leo should drop the belt this soon. This was the match, personally, that I was looking for out of the whole night. I got what I wanted out. It was very high-paced, high-flying, awesome moves. I love the flips outside the ring, the dives. I mean, this is what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted. Sure. If I was on the roster, I would be a cruiserweight. So this is the stuff that I look forward to.
That job.
You'd probably take out Angel Garza by the way.
I would love to battle Garza or Leo. I mean, they were just great athletes, respectable to them.
All right, now Jim Alexander.
Yeah, I know it's coming. I know, Mac, you're watching. It's your boy and all that. Yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take a punch to the face for this one. But here's the thing, with a caveat. For a caveat,
because Jim didn't like Angel Garza.
I trashed him right away. I'm still kind of keeping him down there. But here's the thing. He can work, right? I mean, I thought he was just going to be a jobber. He's clearly not that. He can work. He can hang. The one thing that bothers me, they're starting to compare him to Eddie Guerrero. Whoa.
No.
Keep that away. Keep that away. Don't put these expectations on this guy. Let him kind of break out on his own. Let him do his thing. He clearly can work the ring, but don't start anointing him and comparing him. That's where you're going to lose him real quick.
I don't think that's the problem. I think because it was his birthday today, they try to fit that in the contract.
I don't care if it's his anniversary or something. It does not matter. There's no Eddie Guerrero comparison ever until he reaches some plateau that he probably never will reach.
Okay, that's what's up.
But I'll take the hit. Mac, you are semi-right on him.
Shout out to Barry Mac and all the Macs, M.T. Mac, Heidi Mac. All the Macs.
They have not been on the show in weeks.
Why not? So what? Because they haven't been on the phone, we need to forget about M.T. Mac?
That's not what I'm saying.
Is that what's happening?
That's not what I'm saying, TK.
I mean,
what I'm
Mac
saying is you never shout out Evan Mac in private. You never text and go, Evan Mac, I like what you're doing.
Oh, wait. Have I not?
I'm just saying, you haven't done that.
How do you know I haven't?
Not in the group chat?
Well, I have to do it in the group chat?
The same group chat you mentioned in the week.
First off, we can check the receipts because we'll go back. The Coco Cena tagline was created on Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Right.
Is this a bit for the bump to it?
And when Triple H...
Mac, do you see what's going on here? We need you to chime in, brother.
When Triple H said something about Coco Cena and tagged him, I said, I personally text them to me. It doesn't always have to be on the group chat. Because on the group chat, what happens, folks, is that they gang up on me and I take it. Luckily, I have a great self-esteem, so I'm good to go. I have text M&T Mac privately and DM because he is like a brother to me. Period.
Moving on to something more entertaining. Dave Christopher, can you do the world a favor and tell people how to listen to this AfterBuzz show?
This is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about.
Wherever you like to get your podcast, whether you listen, you watch, whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, make sure that you give us those likes, those comments, those 5 stars. We love to engage with you guys. We love to talk with you every week. Obviously, we can't do this without you guys, so make sure that you show us some love. Let us know who you agree with more, whether it's TK or my boy Flo here. But yes, thank you so much for always tuning in with us, hanging out. Please give us that support.
That is so genuine. Jeez, I would never do anything like
you better do
that. That's why you're no longer doing it.
You gotta get those
bearing the audience and everything before I first shot.
You gotta pay those bills, man. Come on.
Hey.
Next match of the night was Zia Lee, which I thought she was gonna lose this match until I know who her opponent was. It was Aaliyah, someone who hasn't won a match on television in so long. Before we even get to how it ended, David, Chris, tell me about Zia Lee and Aaliyah. Second match of the night, you're kind of like, okay, you're settling in. And this is the 2 you get.
I agree with you. Zia Lee was going to take it. And again, I'm biased with the martial arts background, so I loved watching her performance. Those kicks, those maneuvers, again, fast pace. It kept the momentum, which I liked.
What kind of martial arts do you do? I'm just curious.
I've done everything from karate, kickboxing, Jeet Kune Do, a little bit of Krav Maga, a little bit here and there. I competed in amateur when I was younger, as kickboxing, a little bit.
I'm afraid of you now. Go ahead.
No, so I'm
not taking a punch from him. I'm taking it from Mac instead.
So yeah, no, but I mean, I enjoyed this match. I really did. And again, I knew the way it was going to go, but it was fun.
Excellent. Jay Alexander, thoughts about that? Because I know we talked about Aaliyah and her upside or lack of an upside, but she was featured tonight.
I
mean,
will,
it's
I will say, though,
featured getting her over.
No,
I mean,
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying thoughts about the match.
ouch.
it's
Ouch on
whatever.
top of that. Ouch, that nose. Or
Yeah, for real.
Weren't you hoping for her, or were you being sarcastic?
No, I really thought that if you took... Okay, we don't know about Aaliyah's backstory. She's been around for a long, long time.
Forever,
Win loss
7
record,
years.
But win-loss record is trash. But in the match itself, I thought, well, because Zia Lee had won a lot of matches on TV, it looked pretty competitive. Until how it ended, because, Aaliyah's face. It's not the first person that got her face busted today, which is nuts to see. You know what I'm saying? It was over
Does that give
man.
her credibility, though? Or some
I'm
sort of thing now?
just like, wow, what bad luck is that? You're on TV. and
Maybe
then
she
whack.
does. She does have the look. I mean, it's one of those. She does have the look that is good for television.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the look.
What television?
Like
though?
wrestling television or just like
What TV
just,
were
just
watching?
TV.
TV looks? Yeah.
Not rest. Not rest. Like, let's be honest. Like, we're not gonna see her get a belt anytime soon. So it's
I
just
just want
like.
to know what show she'd be, like Temptation Island or something? Or...
Yikes.
Are we
She's
talking
pretty?
reality TV or are we?
She's all right.
Oh, okay. Well, she's not up to gym standards. But I
No
do-
Mandy Rose, that's for sure.
So, TK, the match ended with a double kick and, of course, Leah's face got busted open. Will this hurt Zia Lee or just understood that things happen in the ring?
I mean, things happen in the ring. It happens all the time. I think tomorrow, in a lot of the dirt sheets, this is going to be a big thing. It's always a big thing when women do it. But when it happens to men, it's just like, it just happens.
Sometimes. I mean, Ryback, for example, was notoriously known as someone who hurt people. And I was like, it stuck with him forever. It was like a bad stigma,
I just feel the last couple of years, it's just been kind of like,
That's fair. No, absolutely.
it's been a woman.
But yeah, let's be real. I mean, this is a physical, whether you want to call it sport or entertainment, it's very physical. I mean, it's like playing football. I mean, you know what you're in for, and that can happen, right? So, but I think too, to get to your point, I think to seeing it more with the girls, it's a little more like, ooh, because you don't see it as often. So yeah, and does it add credibility? Why not?
I mean, it's something we're talking about her, so it must mean it's something.
if she can spin it.
I think Ryan's putting up the picture from social media having her face busted. Yeah, it was rough. And I wondered about that, about Zia Lee.
Is she crying in that or no?
I
Or
mean,
is she
I
like-
would
believe
cry
that
if my
would
face is
hurt.
on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the baby stuff was great. I mean, I like to see that she gets more time and she heals up.
Damn.
It's about time she moves up. Just a little
Moves up
reminder.
where?
That kind of looks like the
SmackDown or
Joker.
Raw?
Moves up as far as being more featured in more NXT episodes.
Is it almost like weirdly look like the Joker's makeup?
It kind
The
of
blood?
So did she get an extra pay bump tonight for that?
Oh my
mean,
god,
I
this
was
is bad.
asked
Gets
for that.
insurance.
I didn't know it was that bad. That's
Yeah,
something.
it's
Just a
pretty
little
bad.
reminder, later on the show, we'll be taking your calls at 424-354-8302. Who have the number to call, 424-354-8302. But now it's time for my favorite part of the show. The delightful TK will have TK's Boudoir. These days hurt me. TK. These days hurt me. TK. I don't mean it.
Get it. You're inspiring me right now, Jim. You're inspiring me.
Do what?
I haven't danced in a while.
There was a split second where I was like, I do miss Jim, and then it just all went
She
away.
always hates me. Let's go, man.
The ratings just jumped up 10
I hate
times.
you,
right?
Flobito. Why
Okay.
do you think I hate
You
you?
bear me on air all the time. But
I
TK's
do
Boudoir is brought to you by
Hey,
SaturayCompany.com.
Put him in a boudoir for now. Put Flobo in a boudoir.
Yeah.
All right, today's Boudoir is brought to you by Center In Skincare and Candles. If you want any cocoa butters, body scrubs, and candles, you can go to centerincompany.com. And if you put in AfterBuzz TV in the promo code, you get a nice little discount.
Real YT says Miss Jim's dancing. Continue.
Thank you.
In the boudoir today, we'll just throw everybody in the boudoir today. Definitely want to throw in Aaliyah for taking that kick to the face. Yeah, no bueno. And also Mia Yim. Definitely those two are in the boudoir for continued. The thing is too, they continued. They didn't because the refs came
Aaliyah
over.
didn't, but Mika did.
Well, Aaliyah still remained in character. She
True,
could have
true,
cried like a
Yes.
True. Good point.
You know what I'm saying? She remained in character, and she's, they could have carried her off. It could have been a whole bunch of different situations. So shout to those two for sure. And then also, since he thinks I bury him so much, for the first time ever, putting a host in the boudoir, Evan T. Mac.
Okay.
I just messed with you.
All right, he's so photogenic.
Is he coming out or something? What's going on here?
Wait, like an evidence he's coming out?
I just messed with you. Evan T. Mac and Flobito.com.
I'll take a little pity vote. That's cool. Thank you very much. Now it's time
That was cool.
for King's Court.
All
Yes.
hail Jim Alexander.
Oh my God.
He is the most handsome,
Truth.
charming,
Truth.
intellectual, and
Definitely.
brilliant
We're
man
so canceled.
on God's serene earth.
I'm going to
Pay
marry this woman.
attention when the AfterBuzz King speaks.
That's right. King's Court is in session right now. You know what, Flobo? I am going to put you in the court as the guard for the door guard.
You appreciate that.
You know what? We need a guard.
Yeah, before the back, yeah.
You know, Bobby's been busy these days, Bobby Lashley with Lana and stuff, so we got to put someone guarding the door. Hey, that's a push. And then of course, my girl, Mandy Rose, is sitting right next to me in the throne. We got Alexa Bliss in there. We got, who's that chick today on NXT that came out and helped out at the end?
Kaylee Ray?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kaylee
Oh,
Ray's
yeah, okay.
in it. And of course, we will have, you know what? I haven't put Diconics in a long time, so.
It's just
Come on,
Peyton's
into
birthday
King.
too.
Oh, you know, it is.
There you go.
It
Oh,
was a couple days ago.
Happy birthday! You're coming on to King's Court, and if, you know I'm gonna put. What's her name? Oh, never mind. Liv Morgan. I keep on Liv Tyler, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan are coming on the
This
court.
King's Court sounds like a party. I'm
This
totally
is.
there. I mean,
David, you can watch a door
Yes.
with Flobito. Actually.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
can't get in. It's
We
all
are
Jim's
we're
situation.
expanding this. So all
It's
my
all started
favorite
with cocoa
women.
butter. All right, it's all started. Okay, so
All my favorite women in the court.
How did this all start with Coco? You know what?
Because you had a
Let's-
boudoir, you were like, don't dance on boudoir
Yeah.
because he sponsors, they want a particular brand, and Jim's like, I make my own boudoir. He had King's Court.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but who's leading the show?
I thought I was, but I got Barry
Obviously
recognized.
not.
So Finn Balor comes out, all
man.
upset. He's all like, man, you know, Johnny Gargano, he's weak, he's a loser.
Facts.
But it's
Truth. I've been saying that for years.
Why we hate Johnny Gargano? Why?
boring.
Fair enough.
Thank
okay.
you, David.
I give
What
you
a
that.
great
but,
point.
But I mean, Finn Balor's heel is amazing. But what
Yes.
happened at Follow was kind of weird. So you had Matt Riddle coming out, not even like rolling with it, and then you had a whole Undisputed Era kind of dust up there, which led to a match between Roderick Strong and Keith Lee. Non-title. David
that's-
Christopher,
yeah.
before we start with you, thoughts about the match.
Just
thoughts
throw
about it being
Tiki. That's her boy. I
I'm
mean,
getting there.
Keith Lee.
Casino Baby Powder. Thoughts about the match. Thoughts about Roderick Strong and his match with Keith Lee.
Well, my boy is the one and only Finn Balor. So, I mean, I was stoked to see him. I love the heel turn. I love the vibe. I love what he's saying. I'm with it. Yeah, it was kind of random with Riddle. Kind of came out of nowhere very quickly. Again, I like seeing that too. You know, I like Riddle. Good match. The Roderick Strong thing, I wasn't too stoked on. I was definitely with Lee on this one for sure. As we saw, it was a match of power versus more of a speed, athleticism, endurance. But to me, it just looked like Keith laying the smackdown on this guy the whole time. I mean,
Yeah.
they told a little story here and there. It was a long match. It was a good match, but it was you saw a lot of power, a lot of dominance from Keith Lee, just with those double palm slaps and slamming him around. And it was okay, but I wasn't too thrilled on it.
David, as a Finn Balor guy, do you think he cuts better promos as a heel or a face?
Ooh, that's good.
I can't remember a face Finn Balor
hard.
promo. I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
know. That's what I mean. But this one is memorable, so I think it's pretty
think-
unanimous, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go
fair
with heel
enough.
because I think he probably has a lot more fun with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I felt like a different side of Finn
Yeah.
Balor in this. He felt legitimized
If
very
you
much.
listen
So.
to Corey Gray's podcast, he was actually on it today talking about how he gets to be more of himself. He's like, I can't use a word, but sometimes I have these like heel-ish moments.
Yeah.
And that's what the character's about.
Is that PBS?
That's the
Reading
more you
Rainbow?
know, NBC.
Oh.
TK, before Keith Lee's match, he cut a little bit of a promo, so you got to actually hear Keith Lee speak the first time in a while.
In a while.
Thoughts about him in this, not his package literally, but him being a total package as far as a talker and a wrestler. Not his package.
Flo, do we have to go there?
I didn't
We knew it was going to go there.
I couldn't take it back. I'm sorry.
Tell us
guys.
about the
It's a
package.
family show. I
I don't know
apologize.
anything about his package.
Yes,
Mia
good
Yim
Lord.
knows about his package, but I don't know
Lord.
anything about his package.
Not anymore.
Wait, they're not together anymore?
I'm just kidding.
They
Go ahead.
were? What?
They're together.
They were together.
Oh.
Hashtag limitless. But go ahead, TK. You were saying.
Well, at least one of them's getting over.
Oh my gosh.
What?
We're getting canceled.
Yeah, we are. God,
I mean, again, I think with the 2 hours, I think they're figuring everything out. When this first started on television, you know, it was kind of rocky. But I think this episode in particular was definitely a all-around entertaining episode for 2 hours.
Sure.
And I think they finally kind of got the formula for NXT, and then also incorporating the other brands. I think that's what's gonna put them over across the board against any other. I mean, let's be honest.
Is Keith Lee part of this though?
Yes.
Is this a setup?
Yeah,
Keith
NXT is a great third brand, guys. I was right.
Keith Lee is part of this. By saying that, I'm just saying that everybody that we see on the show currently is going to be a build-up. I think we're going to see a lot of great things from a lot of the people that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and Keith Lee is one of them. I think whoever they have in the writing room, in particular for NXT, is getting it better than Raw and SmackDown.
So what about people we see that don't really go anywhere? We're talking about your Aaliyahs or Kona Reeves. I mean,
you need just like take a sitcom for example.
Okay.
You always have the office chick, the secretary who's always there, but she only gets a couple of lines. Aaliyah might just be that chick, and if she's fine with collecting that check for that amount of years and still having the clout of being a WWE superstar, then more power to her.
Okay.
Because in all honesty, I don't think she's ever gonna make the main roster unless she, all of a sudden works on her mic skills and she becomes like a valet or a manager or something along that way. But her being someone like a Charlotte Flair, that's not gonna happen. So let's be honest with that.
Yeah, no one's really Charlotte Flair.
Right. Or even the mid card. Like I don't see that happening. But she's a good, we see her once in a while. She has the look aesthetically. I think she's pretty enough. She can carry herself in the ring enough where that person, whoever she's up against, they take the win and she takes the L.
Fair enough. Jim Alexander, we're talking about the Undisputed Era, one of the best current stables. Roderick Strong, to me, always feels like the fourth guy, right? So he has a match with Keith Lee. He looked like he was outclassed by Keith Lee a bit. I mean,
Just size difference.
The size, but it wasn't believable like in a Rey Mysterio way. You can't compare Rey Mysterio to Roderick Strong. What does Roderick Strong need for him to be considered on equal footing as the other three in Undisputed Era?
Get away from him. He needs to get, and he needs a character change. I think he becomes like, I liken them to Nexus, like the crappy version of Nexus, where you have kind of Wade Barrett as the star, and he's kind of the Heath Slater in a way, that's getting pushed.
Wow.
Like he needs to separate from that, and he needs a new gimmick. I feel like he leans too much. It's not his fault. I think he's just being booked, and the storyline lends to it that he is always aided by them. He's always kind of saved by the rest of the guys, and he's identified as just one of the guys, not Adam Cole. There's Adam Cole, and then there's the guys. He's almost on the same level as the tag team guys. And but they work him as a single. It's weird. He's like in this weird no man's place. I feel the guy can work in a ring. He's got some solid mic skills. I think he'd be really good on his own. He can't do. There's a world of potential with him on his own. I think we've seen the finished product of him in this group. It's just not moving any forward. But the hidden thing about this is, my boy Dominic Djokovic came out there, took everything out.
Dijakovic.
Whatever. He's my boy. I call him from day one, from his debut. He was the X factor of this whole thing.
I agree. I actually agree with Jim.
I mean, he was. But I had a follow-up question about Roderick Strong real quick. A Survivor Series announced triple threat match: Roderick Strong, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. Can Roderick Strong show out to a bigger audience, the Raw and SmackDown audience, that he can hang?
He can hang literally in the ring with him.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to buy him. Like, if you're telling me you're going to put Roderick Strong, Shinsuke is, as much as he hasn't gotten over last year, he's fallen, he's still over. When you look at it, AJ Styles is a top of the roster kind of guy.
Agreed.
And you put Roderick Strong in there, he just, to that audience, he's
he might get
clearly the guy that you can't believe could win this match, or is way, way, way much of an underdog for them to even make it believable that he can hang with him. But in a ring, technically, he can't hang with him.
Jim, you are on fire right now, man. I completely agree with everything you're saying.
It's hot in here, too. I don't know what it is.
Absolutely, man. You're on point about everything. And yeah, like you said, if you had Shinsuke in there against Strong, I mean, hands down, you're going Shinsuke. You know what I mean?
Right.
I agree, but I think you're right. It's time to separate him, give him a new gimmick. Give him a better push, better booking. I think there's so much potential there for the guy. He's got talent. And like you said, he can go. But I almost feel like he's just being pigeonholed, and he's also just been decredited, if it makes sense, to what has happened with him always having to rely on the help, the team. It just takes away from his credibility and what he can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Djokovic here. He gets involved in the aftermath. He's going to War Games. Matt Riddle is being reassigned to Finn Balor. Thoughts about, I'm going to start with you, David, about having Dominic Dijakovic in the War Games match itself?
I mean, it's not surprising. It makes sense. I am a little bummed to see Riddle get taken out of that because I thought that would have been pretty awesome to see that team.
Bro.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it makes sense. And again, as we've been saying, we know Dijakovic he's a star. He's been getting good push. I mean, the guy is awesome in the ring. You know, he has power. He's got good athleticism. He's entertaining to watch. You know, I'm with it. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, I'm on board. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Again, Finn Balor said in his, on the Corey Graves show that he wanted to work with Riddle. It's a challenge for him style-wise, so I can see why they did
It was
that.
gonna be a hell of a match.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
mean,
amazing.
what they've done with this match now, it's you have the big guys versus the Undisputed Era because you have Keith Lee, you have Dijakovic, right?
Yeah,
my
Ciampa,
boy.
but
And you, I mean, Ciampa. You know, you got some big guys. I mean, Ciampa's not the biggest guy. We know that. So it helps that you have two kind of monsters next to him in that. It makes them very formidable as a group right now. You know, obviously Riddle's that X factor. He's kind of the tweener. He's kind of a big guy, but he can work as like anyone. But I think him solo versus Finn Balor is a much better matchup and build than putting Djokovic, who also had Keith Lee. Whatever. He's Djokovic to me. He had a long feud with Keith Lee, so kind of it's a nice little I guess end of their feud. You know, it's kind of that piece that they made in a ring. It was cool because they had that long-winded feud, and now they're kind of joining up at the end. That mutual respect thing. It's kind of the cherry on top. At the end.
Yeah, and that was a cool little moment as he turns around right into Lee, and it's kind of what's gonna happen, right? Like,
the old wrestling's handshake.
Yeah. I think we need one of that with you guys tonight. To be honest, yeah, like come on.
Let's move as we do it. Moving on. Talking about Bronson Reed versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Bronson Reed is now officially thick.
Oh man, I need to go on this one. I have a.
Tell me, man, what's going on?
Listen, this thick thing. Thick is curvy. It's cool. You're fat, bro. No, it's true. It's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yokozuna was big.
Real men have curves, Jim.
Real men have curves.
Yeah. No, this gimmick is not working for this guy. Just be like
Isn't thick classified more
PHAT. What's that?
as solid? He's like
Jim.
solid. He's like a solid, he's a solid dude. Like
But he's trying to be he actually, the whole Yokozuna, once again, I don't like these comparisons. They throw out the Yokozuna. He used a few movesets, which I thought was to honor Yokozuna in a lot of ways, but don't throw that comparison. You know, it's cool that he's using Yoko's moves, and maybe you can give an idea, but this thing, I don't like this gimmick.
I feel like you're watching.
Like, no, man, there's only one thick I think about, and that ain't him, okay, when it comes to that.
I think we're watching a reincarnation of Earthquake. I feel like Earthquake is back.
Good kind of thing.
Exactly, because I was going to say, I agree with you, David. Not to cut
But
you off,
he's too small, though, David. I think Earthquake was a way bigger dude. In size, this guy's not even tall enough to
I mean, those kind of guys don't really exist anymore. Like, Braun is an anomaly. Like, Strowman is an anomaly. I felt like 2 weeks ago, that match with Shane Thorne, he was jumping off the ropes and doing these things. This week, he was doing, like, Yokozuna moves and Vader bite bombs.
which is cool. It's a good moveset.
I believe this more, and thick is just a new terminology that it's an old word, but they've just reformed the word, and you believe it.
I believe one thing when I think of thick, and it ain't him, that's for sure.
Since you,
Someone in my King's Court would be calling that, but,
Liv Morgan. So, I know you've been on for
Liv
a
Morgan,
while.
hey.
I just want your thoughts on Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah.
Another guy in the breakout tournament that somehow found a way to break out and actually have his own.
Doesn't he kind of remind you of Rich Swann in a way? Or no?
No.
Maybe body type and stuff. I think Rich Swann is super
Rich Swann.
athletic. I mean,
Rich Swann is super
He's
athletic.
taller than Rich Swann.
is he?
Yes.
Rich Swann was kind of deceiving because of his high flying
No,
abilities.
Rich
feel
Swann
like
is very short.
He's very Swerve. I feel like in a video game, Swerve will have a higher rating than Rich Swann, but it's not a bad
I think he's got potential with him. I think that's one of those guys you just kind of bring out and under the radar, don't really focus on him much, but he could develop into something. I like what he has to offer in a ring. I mean, that was an interesting style. You had a thick guy versus him. I like that matchup in a sense to see how he can work with another guy that's not his size.
Right.
But I see potential in this guy.
I just he gets so angry. I don't know what thick is.
Yeah, no, no, just call it what it is. It's cool. It's fine to be fat, like in a ring, you know.
But can you be fat and athletic though?
Look at Keith Lee.
can, absolutely. I mean,
Keith Lee is not fat.
He's a big boy. Keith Lee's a big boy.
Oh my God.
He's a big boy. Keith Lee's got a few rolls.
Just
No
because he's a
offense.
few rolls doesn't mean he's fat.
But he is. But he makes it work. He's athletic. I think that gives him. Doesn't it give him more like props to him that he's a big guy that can move like that? That's
He's a big guy, but he's not fat.
Well, like if you looked at Vader, Vader was a fat guy.
Yeah.
but he was crazy athletic as well.
Yeah,
I think it's
let's call fat. I mean, Rikishi was fat. It's okay.
I think
You know.
if you're fat, you're not as athletic. like I just don't. If you're fat, it means you have like the rolls that you have on you. They're not allowing you to move.
Yokozuna, I will counter.
move.
Yokozuna was one of the most athletic big men of all time. I mean, he
For
was
his size,
huge.
absolutely.
Chat, what say you? As we move on, it's now time for a brand new segment.
Yes.
Punk Rock, take it away.
Yes, I like that. I like that. So we're going into what I'm starting, ladies and gentlemen, is we're doing the punk rock pin of the night, and by that is what I believe was the match, and not necessarily just pin, but the match of the night. And tonight I'm going with the Lio Rush and Garza match because that thing was awesome. Like I said, it was fast-paced, start to finish, kept it going. Those moves were rad. That finish was awesome. You know, I mean, the ending was a little controversial. You know what I mean? But I mean, just the overall match itself, to me, it just killed it. So, hats off to you guys. Tonight's match, punk rock pin, is Lio Rush and Angel Garza.
I'm glad that if they have a
Just giving
show
out
where
segments
it's
all over the place.
I thought Liv Morgan is going to come out. It kind of sounded like the squad right there, the Riot Squad's coming out right after.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Now it's time to move on to my favorite segment.
Yes.
Feeling that.
See, it was my second favorite segment, but I got to the Boudoir after Evan Mack and all these pregnant people. So now my favorite segment is Boo Thing of the Week. Shout out to Kaylee Ray, NXT UK champion.
Yes.
Showing up during the whole crossover season, doing big damage at the end of the night. I want to give a shout out to Kaylee Ray and also Aaliyah as well because she is hardcore. You see right there, we mentioned her earlier in her injury before. Finishing her match. Those two are my Boo Things of the Week. If you guys don't follow me on social media, you guys should. Pete Dunne
agree.
versus Killian Dane wasn't even a match. TK walk me through this. Pete Dunne would be like, I'm gonna snap this guy's fingers, and then Killian Dane's like, but then Punisher Martinez, what's his name? Damian Priest gets involved. Not even a match.
I remember when Damian Priest first debuted, like 6 months ago or something.
I do.
It's like the promo was good, and then like he actually got in the ring, and it was just like
Shooting
blah.
arrows and stuff.
Yeah,
and like, what the, I wanted that club guy, man. I wanted him to roll out with like the limousine with a bunch of girls. And
I'm
stuff.
actually liking his. I'm hoping they have I have a place where he's going with this, but I'm liking what he's doing with it, so I'm excited about that. Pete Dunne, I don't know if they know exactly what they're going to be doing with him.
I hate what's happened to
I
Pete
agree.
Dunne.
I agree.
Remember
Absolutely.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bray tearing down the house in Chicago at NXT TakeOver, whatever it was, like 3 years ago. I mean, that was one of the hottest matches in years. And that dude was literally... That was his coming out party in that sense, and it just seemed like it's gone backwards. He's went to the UK, he held the title forever. He comes back to NXT. This should have been a major debut. This should have been their ace right there coming out here. And what's going on with him? Like he just took a step back. I don't even think it's him. I think he's the same dude and is doing the same things. They're seeing a freshed up gimmick, or they're just not finding the right feud or feel for him. Because when he wasn't in their possession, in a sense, when he was in the UK, like when they made him come out and do something, it meant something. There was a big deal, and he put on a show every time. Now I just don't know what happened. What happened to him?
I think it's a mixture of both, Jim. I think we need to freshen this guy up a bit, and we need to give him a better push, better booking, because I think to me this feud is boring. I'm not interested. We've talked about this before.
Right.
I mean, I like Priest. I think Priest is interesting, and I want to see where he goes. But I mean, this whole thing. I mean, I like the gimmick with the fingers, and I think you can definitely take that into something, but you have to book it with the right person. You know what I mean? As you see with Mankind with the mandible claw, stuff like that, or even Socko, and it's crazy.
It's a unique
gimmicks
move. No one's got that.
Right. Well,
No one's got that.
Santino, I mean, that stuff can sell itself and get you over in a different way. But I think it's just a matter of the booking and doing it right.
He was a bruiser. Like they were talking, the toughest guy. That was his build. Like you do not want to mess with this dude. He's gonna knock you out, break your fingers, and you believed it. You believed it when he did, and now you just don't. Now he
elevated that title so high.
I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, shout out to Pete Dunne, man. He's one of my favorites. Just a little reminder, the number to call in is 424-354-8302. Call in with your comments and questions. Let's talk about that main event. Mia Yim, Io Shirai, the winner, their team gets, advantage at War Games. Damn. Mia Yim's face.
Someone's nose broken.
David Christopher, walk me through this. Mia Yim tried her hardest to not get her face broken. But
I just want to say hands down, dude, clap to these girls. I think it's awesome. I love seeing them stepping up. Like as we've seen the guys do this for decades, but to see the girls just bringing it now and killing it and being this entertaining, this brave and putting it out there. I was awesome. I love the match. I think it was great. To me, they both won realistically because they put on a hell of a show. again, busted up face. That sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just more appreciative of the match, and I thought it was great. The advantage part. I mean, is it an advantage? Is it really?
I mean, it's not. War Games has pretty much proven that anything can happen. And that TK, William is actually one of your favorite competitors on the roster. She put her heart out there in that match. But, like, the whole busted open spot aside, talk to me about like what it takes for an athlete like yourself to finish or to continue a match after such a devastating injury.
Well, I mean, like we've talked about this before. Mia's she's been in the game for a long period of time. And if she did anything other than continue, then, this would have all been for naught. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's definitely kudos to her, but I didn't expect anything, anything different than what she did. So, I think this will be, because I've been talking about getting her a really good storyline. I think they might be able to use this for a future storyline after War Games. Okay. Like using this as, this is, because they've been talking about her grit. They talked about, where she grew up. They had like a little promo about that. But I think to actually see it, and especially in this platform, they might actually be able to use that for a good storyline. So hopefully the writers can kind of pick through that.
Let's not bury the lead in the story here. She missed the spot. She missed the spot. That's why she got busted.
But that's
she
what,
did.
She did. It wasn't Io Shirai. She lifted the ladder too high. And
I agree, but things do happen.
Well, sure, mistakes happen. No question.
I mean, calling the line.
You're going. Oh, so who's calling? I'm trying to talk about this match.
You're on the air. Tell us where you're from and your question, please.
Hey guys, it's Jan from Florida. How's it going, guys?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good,
Good.
man. Yeah,
What's your question?
So now that we know that Shayna's team is basically complete, do you think her team is the favorite going into the match at War Games?
That's a good question. Thoughts?
Hell yeah. Any team with Shayna is a favorite. I mean, she's been destroying people for over the past
Thanks
year.
for calling.
Yeah, she should be the favorite.
As we saw Ripley's team get handed tonight, so I mean, I think that's the way they're trying to spin it, absolutely. And it's a pretty dominant team, so I'd say they're favored, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're favored, but I think they have some surprises for us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because Shayna's working the next night. She's working that triple threat match. There's got to be something going on with that. But who knows? Who knows? Thanks for your call, Johan. Always a fan of the show, and I'm a fan of this guy because he is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to professional wrestling.
Yes.
Him and Bosa.
So let's talk about like the whole the Bailey appears at the end of the show and Kaylee Ray appears. So we have the whole Survivor Series crossover thing that's still going on in NXT. My thoughts though about this, I feel like the crossover between the brands isn't as smooth as it should be. I know Survivor Series is about a week away. It seems kind of like added on. Maybe I'm off my rocker. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I agree. It does seem a little, I don't want to say sloppy, but it could be a lot smoother. I agree with that. I am happy to see Bailey come down because, as we were saying, you wanted to see some kind of retribution from these brands after NXT pretty much kicked their butts,
Yeah,
so
right.
Especially
I was
Bailey,
like, yes, exactly. So I was like, yes, I was happy to see that. But I mean, it could have been done a little bit bigger, maybe, and just with a little more people, but I understand the schedules are crazy and we can do so much, but I enjoyed that and I'm happy that they did that, and I think that keeps it exciting as well. And then to see Baszler just get taken out, is always a oh my gosh moment,
Right.
Yeah. So
And
it's cool.
And then I know Survivor Series is now it's there. You can't get rid of it. It's the big four, and I poo-pooed on it before. Are you guys excited for the pay-per-view? As it is, as a whole, as it is right now with the triple threat matches, or does it seem as a bit of an excess? Because I feel it's
Which
two
one,
different
the
paths.
Survivor Series or
Survivor
the
Series? Because War Games is going to be dope.
Yeah,
War
yeah.
Games
Yeah,
is
it's
gonna be-
always-
it's
yeah.
War Games, but the idea of like having all the brands there together night after War Games, after War Games always or the NXT pay-per-view tends to be a lot better than the WWE pay-per-view. Are we still on board with Survivor Series?
Well, here's
Yes.
the thing. With Survivor Series, the last few years, what have these wins really meant, right? It's been Raw versus SmackDown, and it's like Raw killed the last Survivor Series, just
Right.
completely destroyed them, and it didn't really go anywhere right afterwards, right? This one has a little bit more meaning because NXT is getting the biggest rub from this, right? I feel like this benefits NXT more, these invasions, interferences more, because it gives their brand credibility. They're appearing on Fox. They're the brand that no one kind of knew that's now getting exposure, and them coming to their shows. It just feels bigger for NXT. They're the ones that can run with it. As far as the Survivor Series, I think just because of NXT's involvement, it's going to be better in that way, just because you have another factor added to it. But they need to make it count for something. Because we just can't go on. Wait, someone's calling?
Yes.
Again,
Yeah.
why is
Man,
it
I was,
whenever I'm
I
trying
was
to
so
make
into
a
that
good
thought
point?
too.
You're on the air.
Better be someone good.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
Ghost.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost
It must have been Jack from a wedding or something. As I was going, so I mean,
Continue,
this
Jim.
gives it credibility in that way, and we need to have something mean afterwards, right? Because if you're just doing it for the pay-per-view itself and just eliminating and erasing all the records and who won the night before, put something at stake. Put something at stake for one brand, either some sort of money in a bank like title shot. If the brand wins, has some sort of, maybe they get a draft pick now. Maybe they get a guy
Is the
over to their
draft thing
brand or a
doesn't
girl.
make any sense anymore?
Or a girl over to their brand. Something needs to be at stake for the winning brand that it means something that you're actually rooting for, right?
TK, riddle me this. I know we talked about having Wargames before Survivor Series, but knowing that in your talent, and you saw what happened tonight, is it the smartest idea to have ladder matches a week before these two giant shows?
It just kind of depends. I mean, for instance, you have football players who can continue out every week. So
Let's get the Pro Bowl. So it's kind of like the
yeah, but it's just one of those things where I guess you don't foresee taking a ladder to your face. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So you don't foresee some of those things. But you've had athletes who've, been beaten up worse and they show up the next day to go and train, or they show up the next day to battle it out. So it's possible. I mean, I don't think this is going to stop the athletes, the wrestlers, from coming back.
I think it's the nature of the business, and I think obviously, yes, you're right. You hope that no one gets hurt, but I think too it's a way of WWE stepping it up with the other brand on television the same night to just keep it going, to keep that foot on the pedal. You know what I mean? And again, hopefully nothing happens to these competitors, but that's, I think, a risk they're willing to take, and especially in this position that they're at. I think it makes sense. And to your what you're saying, Jim, I do agree with you as far as what does it mean. And I think, when you really break it down and think about this with the NXT brand, which was essentially like a performance center, building your star, so to speak, to just be pushed all of a sudden, now you're on Fox TV. Like, how crazy is that when you really
And you're
think
going
about
over
it?
too.
When you think of it, that's insane, right? So I mean, that what does it mean? That alone means everything right there, right? I mean, what they're doing with this brand, and it's a win regardless for WWE. It's WWE's brand, right? So that just pushes this brand to another level. Now you have three huge monsters now that you're into, you want to watch. And I think obviously the point of having all three, let's push over NXT, let's get them there, and that's what it really means. And I think, what is it going to mean for Raw and SmackDown if NXT was to win?
absolutely
That would be the biggest rub for NXT then.
Right.
I think we have a call.
You better be Jack or someone.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name and where you're from?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Nowhere.
Oh, it might be the person spamming.
man.
I was
Are you
gonna
giving out the right number or what?
There are callers.
Someone pranking us? Is this like someone actually?
I was gonna say, if you think about like a year ago, what was on TV as far as wrestling compared to what's on TV now. So they just added ROH. You have Impact just got re-added to television. You have MLW, which is not on television, but it's still. If you watch it, if you haven't watched MLW, I suggest you do watch it a couple times because the storyline is actually pretty interesting.
I can't find any of these three companies
it's cool.
on TV.
Yeah,
but
MLWRO.
Impact, they're on TV now.
Okay.
But then you also have AEW. So you have a lot of wrestling that's going on at the moment compared to what was last year.
Yeah.
Which wasn't anything.
True.
Right.
So, even though they're not, the juggernaut of WWE, it's still taking a little bit chunks of, wrestlers, viewers. So, they do have to step up their game. And I think the crossover between all three brands does make sense. I think they came up with the idea later than sooner when they made these announcements of all brands going to be on TV and they're going to change all this other stuff. But I think if they settle in, it's probably a good idea.
True. Before we get out of here, it's now time for NXT news. TK Trinidad, tell us the world something that we can get teeth into.
Woo, well, shout out to...
Ooh.
Oh, thank you. Shout out to Scarlett Boudoir. Speaking of Impact, she just moved over to WWE. That was last week, just in case you guys didn't know. Also, Jordan Miles. Did you get to see any of this?
I've heard about this. Who is this? What is this all about? Some kind of T-shirt war
Who
or
is this
something?
you speak of?
Well, okay.
WrestlingTees.com.
Wait, no, it's way bigger than that. So if you watched, I think 2 weeks ago, I broke it down. The T-shirt was in blackface, which caused a huge uproar between George Miles and WWE.
Did he wear it?
He didn't know. They created the shirt.
Ah, okay.
So that was the big deal. And there was a lot of back and forth. Then he backed down. He essentially apologized. And then today he officially quit.
Damn.
On his Twitter, he did a whole video saying FWW, etc., etc., etc.
He's going to MLW or one of these companies without a TV station. Then that's I give him props for that.
I did well. Yes and no. My concern is the way that this was done. It really to me it's like. I don't know. I don't know if he's dealing with some issues, and this is the blowback. Like how he went about it is not necessarily the best thing.
I think it's
there's definitely
final call of the evening.
Final call.
Wait, what?
Like, what's your name?
Is this Casper again?
The LeBron James?
Yeah, there is a video.
Hey, what's your name? We're calling from?
Oh, it's Teddy Long.
Oh, I
It
get
was
it.
Teddy Long's
Sorry
music.
about that,
I
y'all.
get a tag team match player.
There you go. That's your thing, right? Tag team match of the day.
So yeah, it's that's what happened today. WWE hasn't spoke on that, but it's definitely a thing that whoever his friends are need to check up on him, because if you watch the video and you watch the message, it's definitely concerning to me because how he went about it, and he's like FWWE, Jordan Miles is my slave name, all this other stuff, which is fine if you feel that way, but that's not necessarily the root.
He went public with it. Maybe that's it.
Right,
This could have been
Twitter.
probably handled internally, don't you
Could
think?
have handled it
whatever.
internally, even
Yeah.
how he did. Like, I mean, there are people. The biggest issue here is that how WWE and other wrestling promotions treat people of color and minorities with stereotypes is an issue. But the also issue is that if you want to change this, then we need wrestling promotions that are owned by people of color. So that's one thing that needs to be taken under consideration. How he did it was very concerning. He could have still did it publicly, but just how, if you watch it, it was just like, are you coming with, you've thought
It was
about
maybe
this.
a reactive move instead of a
Exactly.
thought out.
Exactly.
Hey, was wishing the best for Jordan Miles or ACH or wherever gimmick he's going by now. I just want to make sure that if it's a mental issue that hopefully he gets it resolved. But it's now time for us to get out of here. You guys have been great. Jim Alexander, where can the world find you online?
Yeah, remember me? The Jim Alexander, all over on social media, realtalker.com, RELtalker.com. I'm around your hood. I'm around everywhere. Yo, I'm knocking down the mic. TK next.
Boom.
Au revoir.
You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Also go on my website, TKTrinidad.com. Also, some special news in 2 weeks, hopefully, cross fingers. If you want any cocoa butter or any good stuff, you can go to centeringcompany.com. I will not be in your hood. I'll be dropping mics on you because I'm a very nice person because I'm Canadian. Adios.
I only drink bags of milk. Go ahead, man.
You can find me on Instagram, David_Christopher_official, or on Twitter at I'm David C_. Find us on that interweb. Keep watching, guys. Thank you so much.
Of course, I'm the guy who's always attacked on my own panel.
Wow.
Flobo Boyce, at
Live.
Flobo Boyce on Twitter, at Flobito on Instagram. Support the homie, buy a t-shirt at Flobito. That's redlist.com. But until next time, buzz you later.
Ciao.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.